There's more to introversion than alone time, and the more comfortable and more effective we get at the process of introverting, the greater sense of self we have, we're less at the mercy of our environment, and we're able to take responsibility for our actions. Welcome to Unlocking the Power of Your Personality Type. I'm your host, Samantha Mackay, lead trainer at Truity, certified coach and trainer, and long-time believer in the power of using personality type for personal growth. Now, I want to remind you that your personality type, your 4-letter Myers Briggs code, is not a box. It's not something you're stuck inside of, only limited to expressing those 4 preferences. Instead, I want you to think of type as a platform for understanding your natural strengths, your natural weaknesses, and as a guide as to where you can grow. And in this series, we're looking at your Myers Briggs type as a series of processes, not as preferences. And that allows us to look at those 8 elements as individual tools that you can use to help you navigate the obstacles that continually arise, getting in the way of you achieving your goals and aspirations. So in this episode, we're talking about introversion, that process of introversion, and the different ways you can get comfortable doing it. And we're going to start off by talking about why it helps. Why does the process of introversion help you stop feeling like the ball in a pinball machine? And we're going to talk about why you avoid it. Why is introversion scary? And finally, I have 5 strategies, 5 different ways for you to start practicing and getting comfortable with introversion. So let's start with why it helps. What's the benefits of introversion? So the process of introversion is all about integration. It's about taking the information we've got from the outside world and integrating it into our internal systems. And so we have to review that information through our personal filters. We have to decide whether we want to keep it or get rid of it, whether we like it or dislike it, or how it fits within who we are. And that process of looking at what something means to us, the more comfortable we get with that, the more it gives us a greater sense of self. It gives us our own sense of inner confidence, and it makes us less at the mercy of the environment. We don't need to feel pulled or distracted by all the interesting things going on around us because we already have a clear sense of who we are and how we want to respond to things. And because we're able to do this sense of self-evaluation, it also helps us take responsibility for our actions, and we can blame the external environment a little less and think, how did I contribute to this situation? What part did I play through what I said or did? And so in some ways, introversion is like gazing into a mirror and looking at who you are and what's going on and doing this process of inner reflection. And when we avoid introverting, when we avoid doing that process, that internal process, we really do become like that ball in the pinball machine, bouncing around between people and jobs and places and never quite settling into something we're comfortable with. And we can really struggle to have a clear sense of who we are and what we stand for in this world. So how would introverting help you right now? How would you benefit from spending some more time with your thoughts, to reflecting on some of your actions, and to spending some more time focusing and being a little less distracted by the world around you? So why do we avoid introverting? Well, one reason is modern life is simply not designed for the process of introverting. It doesn't allow us to slow down and do that process of inner reflection. It's trying to steal our attention away at every possible moment, whether that's the internet, social media, Netflix, the news cycle, all those things going on around us always want to steal our attention. And introversion requires us to give that attention to our internal thoughts. And it's really hard to listen to those when we're being pulled in multiple directions, because the process of introverting isn't quick or convenient. It takes time and patience. It requires us to slow down, put our phone down, and to allow our thoughts to wander and to be seen and to hold themselves up for evaluation and scrutiny. And we even see that there are many workplaces and sometimes even families that don't allow much time for this. There is an expectation to be busy or appear busy at every turn. And yet the process of introverting might look lazy to some people or to be not productive. And those are simply judgments we attach to what someone's behavior looks like rather than something that's happening internally. And only you can really know if you're introverting effectively. but you might need to let go or recognize how the environment you're in perceives that kind of behavior. Another reason we avoid introverting is because it's daunting and overwhelming. And when we go inside that internal space, or when I go inside that internal space, it can sometimes feel like this void and that I'm floating through space and time without thrusters and without direction and no way to navigate that internal world. And hence I seek a lot of help and assistance to really understand what's happening inside that space and learn the skills to be able to navigate that well. But we don't just avoid introverting because we don't know where to start in the process. We also avoid it because we're afraid of discovering something scary, discovering something that isn't in alignment with who we are, or it's such a piece of information that's true to who we are, but we just can't see how it integrates with the rest of us. And the more we go into that internal space and we look at that, the more we have to confront the reality of our own internal inconsistencies and figure out what to do with them. Because your sense of self and confidence will come from when you figure out how to integrate all those conflicting, disparate pieces into one whole. It's not to reject one thing and push it away. It's to hold it lovingly and look at it with care and concern and kindness and figure out, how do all my pieces fit together? So my discovery question for you is, what are you afraid of learning about yourself? What inner truth do you simply don't feel ready or want to look at? So let's talk about the strategies for introverting. And remember, this is just a muscle. You have been using it since the day you were born. And so really it's about starting to practice this in a small way and work up to your level of comfort and effectiveness. The 5 strategies I have for you are listen, withhold, reflect, retreat, and focus. Let's break them down. Listening. Listening can be really hard. We're so used to interrupting each other. We're so used to talking. We're so used to wanting to put our opinion across that we don't really listen to other people. And even if we're not talking, we're sometimes not really listening. We're just thinking about what to say next. And so that's not listening either. And so this is a balance between learning to not interrupt someone else, but also learning to let go of what your thoughts are and really pay attention to what someone else is saying. So ways to practice this are: aim to let someone else finish without interruption for as long as they talk, to wait 30 seconds before saying something, to ask questions before giving your opinion or perspective, and ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your ability to really listen to other people, to not interrupt, to let go of your thoughts and really focus on what they're saying and trying to understand what's going on for them? And think about whatever that number is now. Aim to review yourself in the future as you start practicing these listening techniques. So building on listening is withholding. And this is really learning about how to appreciate the power of silence and to not step in and feel the need to fill the void, to be comfortable with this open space where there's nothing inside of it. And so really practice keeping your thoughts, opinions, feelings, perspectives to yourself. Don't show them or share them with others, and see what it's like when you're having that experience. What do you notice about yourself? And so when you come into a group or a conversation, aim to not share first. Aim to wait until other people speak up and fill that void and see what emerges from that process. Practice not introducing yourself to other people. Allow people to introduce themselves to you and see what happens. And think about practicing stillness within your body. What does it mean to not dash around, to limit your body language, to withdraw inwards and bring stillness to your physical being as well? In a way, it's really like practicing the concept of waiting, the concept of just sitting still and allowing things to emerge without feeling the need to push them or make them happen. And so next is reflect. And reflect is really about learning how to be comfortable with our own thoughts and feelings and what's happening in our internal world. And noticing our thoughts and processing them doesn't require us to always be sitting in some sort of still meditative state. We can be doing things. We want to be doing things that are encourage and allow our mind to go into that process. And so that could be some form of exercise you do alone, like walking or hiking or running. That could be something you do around the house that almost has that meditative feel to it, like gardening or cooking or cleaning. Or that could also be a process that allows your thoughts to come to the fore, to be looked at and examined. And that might be through a process of unstructured journaling. It might be through writing, such as communicating through text or email, or even just, writing a story or a poem. Because what we're really trying to encourage here is thinking before acting, really getting a sense of what's happening within our thoughts and our experiences before we dive into action. And often we need to give ourselves permission for this process of slowing down and quietly examining what's going on before really leaping in and doing something. And then we have retreat. And retreat is about learning to take yourself out of the world, out of the busy, chaotic environments, and allow space for you to exist in a very calm way. And so this is where we want to schedule some quiet time, some alone time. That might be something that you can just do on the weekend, or you might even want to book yourself on an extended silent retreat. A lot of that is just about becoming comfortable with solitude and creating a distraction-free environment so your thoughts and feelings can rise up and can emerge, that you can really look at them in a calm way where you don't get pulled into the emotional judgments that you might have about some of those inner experiences. And then you can take that neutral observer approach and integrate them into your experience, into who you are. Now, I haven't done a 10-day silent retreat. I did do a 3-day silent retreat. And I have to say, it took 2 days for all the crazy mental chatter to quiet down. And by day 3, the most amazing insights and inner conversations and dialogue emerged, revealing things that I just would never have discovered unless we'd had that supportive place for not speaking and allowing and just being in that internal world. And so our last strategy here is around focus. And this really is letting go of the need to multitask and embracing single tasking. And I've noticed that since I started doing this, I've become on time to everything. I get more things done, and I become much clearer about what I enjoy doing. And I even procrastinate less, really focused on what is it I really want to be doing right now, and doing that one thing with joy and with pleasure and focus. And that has been a real fantastic revelation for me. So how can you start to let go of the need of multitasking and switch into single tasking? Because honestly, that's about as much as the brain can handle anyway. We lose a certain level of quality when we task switch. So let's think about focusing on single tasking, doing focused work in the moment. And what does that mean, and what does that look like for you? Now, different ways you can do this is setting up your own process around what tasks you want to do and when. It could be creating a distraction-free environment, so disconnecting your phone or laptop from the internet, turning your phone off so you don't get phone calls or text messages at all. It could be putting on your headphones or playing music to drown out or distract yourself from the world around you. But this doesn't have to just be something you do alone. You can do this with another person, where you have a real focused conversation with someone, where you really get to know them well because you're very focused on what's going on in the conversation. You can build a much deeper level of intimacy with that person. And even at parties or large gatherings where you might flip between different groups or aim to be talking with everyone at once, you could just let go and have a single conversation with someone to focus just on what one person is saying. Even if it's in a group, just truly focus on that one person and aim to understand what's going on there. And so those are the 5 strategies I have for you today around practicing introversion. And so my question for you is, how will you use introversion to have a better relationship with yourself today? How will you use it to have a greater sense of clarity and confidence around whatever particular situation you're exploring right now? And that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you in the comments below, and look out for our next episode where we explore the process of sensing.